It's such a, like, you're not connected to any compassion. You have totally allowed yourself to disconnect from God, to source, whatever it may be. And that's the only way these people are able to do this type of horrendous crimes. And what's sad is, and what's scary, but yet we got to face it, it's in everywhere. It's in our local Masonic lodges. It's in our local governments,
Well,
and not in
not
that.
all Masons.
No.
I mean, I got to talk to a guy recently
Yeah.
who was a high-ranking member in the Pentagon, actually was involved in the alliance, auditing a lot of the cabal, and finding out how they were able to hide money through the balance between for-profit and non-for-profit, and then paying themselves to do these speaking tours for millions of dollars. But anyway, he made it up to 33rd degree in the Masons and said that it was Christian all the way, and there was nothing that he ever saw
Hmm.
that would have upset his Christianity.
Okay, so why is
So,
it getting a bad rap then, Mason lodges then?
well, because in the older versions of the lodge, first of all, you're not allowed to read books like Duncan's Ritual Monitor Freemasonry or Light on Masonry by David Bernard that actually revealed what the rituals and rites were. Okay. If you become a Mason, you're not supposed to read anything like that. But if you do, which I have, like if you read Bernard's Light on Masonry, that's the result of a public trial against the Masons that took place in the state government of New York legislature. And what happened in that is we find out, like in 31st degree Masonry, they say you must crush the head of the serpent of religion,
Mm.
right? Wow. So, how do you do that? Well, they don't think that any of the religions in the world are good. They think that there is this half God or demiurge, and that all of us that think there is a God are actually worshiping a false God, which is bloodthirsty because it wants people to fight against each other. It hates sexual freedom, hence, it wants us to feel repressed. And it hates science, hence, it doesn't want us to look through the telescope. Well, wait a minute. Those are the actions of religious cults that were formed based around original leaders who were enlightened teachers. It doesn't mean that those enlightened teachers wanted us to have holy wars, wanted us to go killing each other, wanted to suppress sexuality, wanted to suppress science. That's stuff that the structures of human beings did after the fact.
So was it
Then
co-op,
what they
David?
do,
Was it
yeah.
co-opt? I mean, like many other organizations, they're co-opt over time, and they're misled down a road of towards that Luciferian agenda. And the true meaning is like religions. Like, I'm sure even Christ was around, that was co-opt. His teachings were never really let out to be. Is that what usually happens to
Oh,
these organizations, like Masons?
yeah, yeah. Almost any time that we create a religion, we're in a huge, huge mess, because ultimately all the great teachers were trying to steer us towards experiential knowing rather than worshiping a book, which is fundamentally flawed as soon as you write it down, because the experience of omniscient awareness that we all have, we are the awareness of the universe. And when we become inspired, we touch parts of that. That is a purely personal experience. And the minute that you try to concretize it into words, you're automatically losing a lot of the value of it. Which, if someone has a near death experience and they go to the other side, now they get a direct knowing of what this mother light or this home really is. It's not the home you grew up in, it's not the home you have now. It's a much more important home. And from that spiritual perspective, these negative forces are very ignorant. They
Mm.
really have gotten extremely confused. They don't understand what's really going on. They don't understand that they will be paying off the karma for the things they've done for millennia, multiple incarnations that it takes for them to work off, because everything you do to someone, you have to experience. So, in a sense, it's like these cabal people, these Illuminati people, they're disabled. They're spiritually disabled, and they're not aware that all these things that they do that they think are so cool and so amazing, and look at us, look at how evil we are, we're so enlightened. Man, you're going to be paying that off for thousands and thousands and thousands of years. You're going to have one crappy life after another where you're like a little kid who gets stomped on by a horse, and then you come back and now your legs are all messed up, and it's just unbelievable what you have to go through to balance this stuff.